to episode 97 of Checkpoint Chat. My name is Alessandro Barbosa. I'm joined by Matthew Figueroa remotely.
By me, remotely.
He's not wearing a mask on Discord. It's very concerning.
The level 4, oh my god. You've angled your camera differently. I can't see your moustache anymore.
Yeah, I've angled it differently so you can actually see, like,
I can't
you don't just see my eyes,
anymore.
like, against a microphone.
Oh, it is the best. It's like, wow, Texan Barbosa looks like a nice American version of
I was basically recreating my mustache from Animal Crossing.
Your moustache is glorious.
In Animal Crossing, it's so good.
I don't have a mustache. Is that like a thing you can pick up, or is it just a...
I got it from the clothing store.
Okay, you buy it and you wear it. Okay.
Yeah.
That clothing store is incredible. There are many options.
So many options. I love... I kind of... So I have issues with the menu system in that clothing store. Like, I think I said the other day, I don't know if it was on the podcast, but like I wanted to buy every color of all the high top sneakers, and I had to go in individually and buy them. Like I couldn't, so that was annoying. But I like the whole change room thing where you can choose like a bunch of items and then purchase them
and then buy it as is.
Once. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I also love the poses your villager does when you're trying on clothes.
When you change, yeah.
It's so extra. Like it's like he's like really a real good model or something. But
listen, the options in that store are great. I mean, yesterday I bought a jester mask for when I want to become my island's Batman.
Nice.
They won't know who I am.
You should do that. You should become...
Put it on like, ha! I am darkness.
I found some silly costumes. I found a costume that was like a grape costume, so I'd walk around looking like a bunch of grapes.
That sounds amazing. Why would you say that's silly?
It was very weird. I bought it anyway, but I was like, I don't know if I'll ever wear this.
Listen, I sold turnips for a good price this week, so I'm on like 2.5 million, and I've got 3 rooms in my house now. I'm not expanding until I've actually filled out the other 2 rooms, because I've got them sitting bare. So I'm sitting on a lot of money now. So now when I walk into the clothing store, I'm like, do I need this $2,000 Bell's jester mask? No. Am I buying it? Yes.
I'll hang it on my wall in my home.
Do I need this ski mask? No. Am I buying it? Yes. You know, it's
this is the next step for me in Animal Crossing is like traveling to other people's islands to see what unique items they have, because like I think each island has a set amount of items you can buy from, especially like the Nook Miles place. So like I need more, like a better variety of things to put in my home.
Yeah, likewise. Because my thing is, so funny thing that happened before the stream started, Lenska rolled credits on Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that was wild.
Like I've watched her play the game. She's done like a fair bit of landscaping, but nothing on the level that I've seen from other people's islands I visit. When I visit other people's islands, I'm like, please don't come visit mine. You'll laugh.
Yeah, there are some
my island's
crazy
very
nice
big.
islands.
But yeah, she got KK to visit her island and the credits rolled. I'm like, huh, okay. what have I been doing
like
wrong?
we were telling her, it's like she probably hasn't unlocked. So she hasn't unlocked terraforming yet. So she hasn't unlocked paths yet, because you can put down paths and villagers will follow them and whatever.
Yeah.
So there's so much to the game beyond credits, and you could unlock terraforming even before you even hit the credits, because it's all like it doesn't care what order. It almost seems like credits in this game is weird. Like it doesn't feel like one of those that should have credits, but yeah.
I'm just jealous because she got old KK too.
Yeah, now he just chills there forever.
What's the best KK track?
The Scar track. So good.
I don't have that, but let me tell you my favorites. It slaps. Don't at me on Twitter. It's KK Waltz.
KK Waltz is good. KK Waltz is so good.
I love it. I get it stuck in my head.
It's so good. Have you heard the KK Safari one? That one's super weird.
No.
That one's bizarre.
Well, so how many tracks are there in the game?
I have so many. I've come across some duplicates, so like every day I'm not finding a new one, but I'm still finding new ones every now and then.
What a dude.
There's KK Techno. There's
oh my word.
KK Celtic, which is really interesting as well. It's like,
goddamn.
Yeah, it's really something.
Lenska sent me a screenshot of her phone. I think she's just unlocked terraforming. I don't know what that icon is.
Probably. I know terraforming's not tied to the end of the game. It's like your island rating or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you can start building gold gold tools, so like a gold spade and stuff that don't break.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah, because the breaking stuff
Shit.
is fucking nonsense, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but level 4 lockdown, did you go for a run this morning? No?
No. I mean, we run regularly, but I felt no need to do it on the first day. So
yeah. Well, I've seen my brother. So my brother unable to run around his place at all, like no space. So he's really not been out for 5 weeks. He ran a casual 18K this morning.
Oh. Could he not run around the complex that he lives in?
No.
Oh wow.
But I think Body Corporate said no fam.
Wow.
Even that whole estate, yeah, that's like nope. But then Lenska went out she took the dogs for a walk quickly this morning, and she said it is chaos out there. She went to the park, people letting their dogs off the lead, no masks. Like this is so when people complain the government's being very strict, I'm like, yeah, it is a bit like we have to be cautious because it does come across as like either very nanny state or authoritarian, that sort of thing. Like, yes, be mindful. But then stuff like this happens. I'm like, that's why it's so strict. Because if you were allowed to run outside your house during those 5 weeks, there would be people just not giving a shit.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's exactly that. It's like I will follow the rules, but you got to understand that the masses, even with the level 5 in place, people weren't following the rules correctly.
people weren't following the rules.
So like, because like my dad went to a physiotherapist during the week, and he got it was interesting because they gave him like a whole letter and everything saying he could come to the practice and whatever. And he was driving, and he got to Grayston? Yeah, Grayston in Santon. And he's like, it felt like it was like a normal traffic day. I'm just like, what the fuck
so
are
many
people doing?
like,
yeah,
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still of the opinion that we'll head back to level 5 pretty soon, because people are just not going to follow the fucking rules, and you're going to see a spike in infections and all of that. And
yeah, it's my favorite meme that came out this past week, I think, was it's like, okay, I'm going to word it very badly, but it was wait, I'll find it. Just give me a second because I want to mess it up.
time.
But it
with Matty and
basically
Sandy.
meme time. Yeah, we should have a meme hour.
An hour
Oh,
just for
send this
memes.
now.
That's a lot of memes.
I mean, we should have a spot on the show for memes. Hang on. So I could even show it to you. No one else can see it, but it's like government, stay the fuck at home and maintain social distancing. And it's like people who've never gone for a morning jog in their life before. And it's just like the Avengers, essentially.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Like everyone's
And it
like,
is. It's like
I've never run in my
who've
life,
never run
but I'm
before,
going to.
but like, how dare I not have the right to run?
Exactly.
And it's like, okay,
yeah.
like, come
Yeah.
on, guys, just yeah. Anyways, level 4 lockdown. I don't know how long it's gonna be before we move to level 3 or back to level 5. But
Listen, you've got a McDonald's
is-
opening close to you, so I'm very jealous. I don't.
we are probably going to get takeout tonight, but I don't know what we're going to get. But surely, I mean, you've got the McDonald's in Boxburg. I'm surprised they don't deliver.
No,
You actually
no.
have 2, don't you?
Yeah, I have a bunch around me, but none of them are open yet. The closest one to me that is open is Kempton, and that's way too far.
I know, that's too
It's
far.
No way
Well,
they're going to deliver.
are there any other fast food places near you that are delivering?
I don't know. I haven't actually checked. I need to open up like a Mr. Delivery or something. Maybe Rocco Mamas near me will be delivering, and I'll be super happy.
Rocco
I'll
Mamas.
smash a Rocco Mamas right now.
You'll smash a smash burger.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
my god. We had, so you know, there's this whole weird rule of like you can't serve hot food, blah blah blah, something. But apparently frozen food is okay.
Frozen peas.
Frozen, yeah, I had a delivery of frozen peas. They were delicious. Old Franco's has been doing some frozen home meals. Okay, so it has been like the pastas and this and that, whatever. This week he did frozen pizzas.
Oh my god.
So we had some frozen margaritas yesterday that we just put our own toppings on, and let me tell you,
They were good.
Franco's is well missed. Oh my god. That pizza,
Because
it's too
honestly, a pizza is all about that dough, like a good dough and
Yeah.
a good crust. Ooh.
And that cheese, though, I don't know what cheese they use, but holy shit, it's delicious. Yeah.
I've seen there's a there's a great pizza chain Shani and I follow in Cape Town called Postacino's, and they've been doing the same in
Postacino's.
for the lockdown, like doing frozen meals and stuff like that. So they're
Goddamn.
finding ways to survive, but I can't imagine the stress that is attributed to like pivoting to that sort of thing overnight.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, but that's the Corona update this week, which has been going on for many weeks.
Yeah, it's
Will
like
we do
day 34 or something like that?
day 35 million? Will we do episode 100 remotely? Probably.
Almost definitely at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Good
I'm
lord.
almost certain that's still going to be the case.
I don't want your coronies.
Yeah,
You can
I don't want
them.
your coronies either. But this is Checkpoint
Damn
Chat.
corona.
We talk about
Yes.
coronies and video games.
We'll talk about Corona and video games. I think that's been the
While
theme.
drinking
and Animal
Coronas.
Crossing. I'm drinking straight vodka. This is how you kill Corona.
Oh, really? Is alcohol kill
No,
corona? No,
I don't know. I read it on a Facebook group.
Oh, God, yeah, then it must be true.
Yeah. Holy shit.
So, yeah, I haven't played many new games this week. Neither of you, but I can
Good lads.
give you a small update on Fallout 76 now that I've published
So
my
you-
review.
You've published your review, and what did you give it?
5 out of 10.
Wow.
Which,
that's a pass.
For context,
It's a pass in South Africa.
on
don't
GameSpot
worry.
scale means okay,
Okay.
which is
No,
pretty
no.
much how I feel about the game.
A
It's
5 out of
okay.
10 means that it's a roaring heap of garbage.
Oh, okay.
Sits on fire.
Is that how it works?
as as per the gamer's measure of 5 out of 10.
I mean, fair. I can
Yeah.
actually get the exact description of a 5 out of 10 very quickly.
Nice, tell us.
I do think
Enlighten us, because people do seem to forget that a 5 out of 10 is pretty much in the middle of the barometer of games.
so. I was
and,
wrong.
yeah.
5 out of 6
know.
is fair. 5
yes.
is wow. I clicked on my review and I got linked to Overwatch 2. I don't know how that happened. 5 is mediocre.
Yeah, but I mean, mediocre is like it's okay.
Yeah, it's middle of
but
the
it's
road.
not. It's yeah.
Yeah, and
So there we go.
that's kind of how I feel about Fallout 76. It's middle of the road. It's like it's really weird because I liked so many aspects of the expansion Wastelanders. I think the story is pretty cool, and I think it's not just like, oh, there's human characters in Fallout 76 now. It's like these human characters were actually really nicely written. At least the ones I sided with, because they're two factions. And I thought the goody two-shoes settlers were pretty boring. So I went with the raiders and ended up finding their leader a bit more like... She was like a raider, so, you know, they are pretty aggressive and they'll fight people and whatever, but... She wasn't like the raiders in past Fallout games where they were just indiscriminately like killing everyone. She was like, hey, if there are no people to trade with in the wasteland, there's no way we survive either. So they defend themselves, but they like, you know, they understand that to survive, other people have to kind of like trade with them and stuff like that. So it was like a really interesting, it was a different take on the raider archetype from Fallout, which I thought was pretty cool. And there was this girl and a super mutant, Rara and Gale, part of the raiders, who were just so cool. Like this like small girl who just loves getting into trouble, and then the super mutant who just like adores this girl and will do anything for her. And their relationship was so cute.
So listen, that sounds awesome, but those names get me. It's like Rara, like cool, sounds like Fallout, and then Gale from HR.
Gale,
Like,
yeah. Gale the super mutant.
Okay.
Gale just routinely walking around the raider camp with a minigun, but talking so like eloquently.
Gale the soccer mom. You know.
It's really funny because the pair of them give other characters so much shit. Like there's this guy in the raider camp who dresses in tuxedos, so he always looks like James Bond, which is super fun. I think it's so funny, and he's like this like expert lock picker. So Gale and Rara are like giving him shit. They're like, "You're really bad at killing robots and this and that," and he's like, "Well, if I had a minigun like Gale, maybe I wouldn't be." And Gale's like, "I can't give you the minigun because you're too weak. You wouldn't be able to pick it up." And I'm just like, "Oh, it's so good. The banter's so good."
See, that's good.
Yeah,
though.
so like those aspects are really cool, and I really liked. You know, it felt like a Fallout that I fell in love with back in the day, like the characters and the stories and making decisions and stuff. But like the rest of it is just Fallout 76, which just isn't that good, I don't think.
It's meh.
Yeah, it's like for Bethesda's melee combat in all of their RPGs, like Skyrim and previous Fallout games, hasn't gotten any better over like the span of a decade. So now it just feels, with every new iteration, it just feels worse to me because it doesn't feel like it's improving in any meaningful way. So the melee combat kind of sucks, and I'm like forced to use melee combat a lot because like either my guns are constantly breaking or I'm running out of ammo like a lot because the difficulty feels tuned in like a weird way. I don't know what it was, but I was like hitting people with a baseball bat and killing them immediately, but it was taking like 2 magazines of my gun to do the same. And I'm like, this makes no sense.
That makes no sense, yeah.
So, and I also just don't like it feels like all these survival aspects are really tuned like very harshly. Like guns break incredibly quickly. The hunger and thirst meters go down really, really quickly. And I've seen a lot of people being like, yeah, you can use perks to alleviate that. But it's like, so I have to use perks, which are generally to like define how I want to create a character. Like, do I want him more strength-wise or whatever? Basically, I'm just using perks to get rid of the shit that I don't like, instead of like making the character that I kind of want to make. So I don't find that like it's a generally good solution to the problem, because that just means I'm playing the game to a point where its annoyances don't annoy me as much, and then like the game really starts or something like that. Like no, that's not how I'm planning to spend my time in an RPG. So
Boo.
yeah, it's disappointing because, like I said, I could 100% advise people to pick this up for a weekend and play through Wastelander's story, especially. But that means you have to like grind out a few levels before you can actually finish it. And the missions that you go back to and the sort of like general side events and side quests, they aren't that interesting. They pale in comparison to what Wastelanders has. And unless you're the sort of person who like Fallout 76 clicks for, and there are those people, because I saw on servers people with like amazing settlements and like a lot of gear, and like power to them. It's cool that they're enjoying it, but I think someone coming from a more like someone who liked Fallout 3 in New Vegas a lot and didn't find Fallout 4 all that great, I think 76 is just that not greatness becoming a bit worse.
Yeah. Boo.
Yeah.
Well, that is disappointing, but I mean it is sad because it's like 2 years on now, and it's still. Although, like you said, there are people who are enjoying the game. Cool. Like,
it's 2 years on, and you can tell that they've learned like a lot. I just think there's so much wrong fundamentally at the core of 76 that it's like really difficult to overcome.
Yeah.
So
it's like I mean, when you tell me that you had to like grind out to level 20 just to get to the expansion, I'm like,
and also like this game is built on the idea of multiplayer, but multiplayer is the part of the game that it struggles with most. Like if I'm playing the main quests with, say, you, okay, if I was the party leader and we went into what it called like a I don't know what it actually called it, but it was like basically like a mission important area, like an instance. So it could be like a dungeon where story beats happen, or like there's a bar at the beginning, Duchess's Bar, where you do a lot of like dialogue choices. So it says those areas are instance, so you can do one of two things. You can either go in there alone and make your own decisions and progress your own quest, or you can go in with the party leader. And if you go in with the party leader, then they make the decisions and only their progress is saved. So if you log out and then want to play again, that quest will not show up as completed on your side. So that's sort of fine if it just involves like small dialogue instances, but it sometimes involves like whole quest dungeons. So like
that are being
so either you play through the story together, like entirely, and then the one person comes back and hasn't actually played anything, or you play through it alone, which defeats the purpose of the whole multiplayer
Of the
idea.
whole
So
game,
it's
yeah.
like, what's going on? Like, this
It's
makes no
weird.
sense. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the I don't get it. I just don't
Fallout
understand.
76. The multiplayer game that doesn't do well
With multiplayer, yeah, it just
stuff.
seems. And then so like if it's not doing well with multiplayer, it's like, okay, we'll play it alone, and it's fine to play alone, but man, it is a drag to play alone, because it feels like
Yeah,
the
I mean-
combat is not tuned for single play.
for single
Yeah.
player. Yeah, but despite that, you have managed to progress alone. You didn't
Oh,
ever
no.
play multiplayer.
No, you can
Yeah.
play alone, no problem. It's just like I said, it feels more tuned to like having multiple people, especially with the number of enemies and the amounts of health enemies have. It doesn't feel perfect for single player. So yeah. Oh well, 76. If you disagree with me, you can go argue on the Reddit thread that disagrees with my review. So
Nice. So much hate for you. You could put that alongside your Rust review.
yeah,
For pissing people
yo,
off.
that one was bad.
Yeah.
That one was bad.
Yeah. But in other
other bad
this week,
games.
in other mediocre.
Yeah,
Well, what have we both been playing?
Predator
Playing some of that,
Hunting Grounds.
Predator Hunting Grounds. A asymmetrical. Is it asymmetrical? No. What is it? Asymmetrical 4v1 multiplayer game set in the Predator universe. If you have no idea what that is, just imagine Arnie yelling, "Get to the chopper! Get to the chopper!" Except there's 4 Arnies and 1 Predator. That's
Basically, yeah.
basically the premise of the game. Kinda.
Yeah. So we played a bit of that online earlier this week, and I like Darren's take on it. He's like, it's so bad that it's good. I'm like, yeah,
It's like a bad, like, what did you say? It's like it's a good bad action movie.
Yeah.
Almost.
yeah. It's like B
But, I mean,
grade action movie.
Like, it's legitimately like if you watch the original Predator with Arnie or whatever, it's that. Like, I don't think it's the best movie ever, but it's like super cheesy in certain parts, whatever. But
got some
that
charm
in
to
video
it.
game form. It's got some charm to
Yeah.
it. You son of a bitch. You know, it's
I'm still okay. We haven't won outright. No, we did. We did have a match where we defended the
yeah.
Predator, and there was no "you son of a bitch" handshake, which is really disappointing.
opportunity.
Really,
missed.
like for
Holy
the camera to
shit,
zoom in
yeah.
on some biceps, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah, come on. So yeah, the premise of the game is it's pretty straightforward. You if you're playing on the human team, is it Fire Squad?
Fire team.
Fire team. Something.
Yeah.
You basically 4 soldiers / mercenaries who need to fulfill a bunch of random objectives
Yeah.
on a map, and on the other side of the coin, there's a predator who's just there to kill you.
Yep. I mean, Predator's there. He's like, don't like
That's-
these guys. Gonna kill them.
Yeah, I mean, right out the gate. So we both started the game, and you do tutorial, and you're not forced to do the tutorial. You can just dive straight into the main game if you
Good
want.
luck.
But if you do the tutorial, it only gives you the Predator tutorial. So like, how do you play the Predator? How do you do parkour, or as they like to call it, predcore? No, what is it? Yeah,
Predator or
predcore,
what
predcore, whatever.
with your
But then
predlocks.
that's really the only, as far as like context goes, which there isn't even any. That's as far as they lead you.
And that tutorial was
in this
pretty
game.
bad.
Yeah, the tutorials are like, we both had it where we reached the end of the tutorial, we died, and it's like, oh, do you want to retry? You go back to the beginning of the tutorial. It's like,
Immediately, I was just like, nope,
what?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like, there's no context of what are you actually doing. You're just like, okay, well, I've done the Predator tutorial. Let me dive into a game. Now I'm on Fire Squad, and apparently you can cover yourself with mud, and there's med kits around the map, and there's ammo drops, and like you're not told any of this. You just figure it out as you go.
Yeah, it was really funny that because I'd watched some streams of people playing, and like I saw the whole mud
you
thing.
told
Yeah.
us.
And I was like, oh,
I'd
you can
never
cover
have
yourself
known
with
that.
mud. And you're like, but why? It's like, oh, it hides your heat from the Predator. It's like, oh.
Oh, that would have been really helpful in a tutorial.
Yeah, would have been. And also like the soldier, I don't know, there's like objectives to do on the map, but like half the time it's just like go to this thing, hold down square for a bit, wait. When you hold down square, then AI enemies will appear that you can shoot until you can go to the next thing to hold down square. It feels very routine. It's just kind of like to give you something to do and shoot at when the predator's kind of figuring out how to kill you.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like when Evolve came out, that was on paper was a really cool idea of like, oh, there's 4 people hunting one creature, but when the game eventually launched, we all know the story. It didn't do very well because I think that loop of like running, like when I played it, I ran around the map hunting the thing, and I was like, I got over it very quickly. And I think Predator addresses that, and you're not as a soldier, you're not out hunting the predator. You have to do your own side objectives, but that peppering in these random side objectives with AR does keep you like busy.
Yeah, it gives me something to shoot. I'm not just looking at trees and waiting for the predator to appear. So
that
works.
A wild ride.
Yeah. But man, the enemy AI is really bad.
The AR is terrible. I feel like it's like AR from 1 or 2 gens ago.
Yeah.
They just like run in a straight line. There's no flanking.
There's no self-preservation.
They see you, they stop and they shoot. There's no like ducking behind cover.
Sometimes they don't even I've walked up on people that aren't even shooting me until I get like real close to them, and then they start hammering me. And I also don't like. There's no like context as to why they do the things they do. Like so when you down the predator, you have 2 options. If you down him and kill him outright quick enough, then the game pivots to like you extracting the predator body. So you have to protect it from damage. Why are the AI humans trying to destroy the body? I don't know.
For money.
I would love to know.
For money.
Like,
I don't know. But that's the thing of this game. So like we've only played about an hour and a half.
Well, in actual game time, yeah, because we spent a lot of time in lobbies.
Listen, actual game time probably like 30 minutes, maybe. But I think the way we've already said, Darren explained it, like it's not great, but I still had fun despite that. If that makes sense. I think it's just teaming up with friends is always a good time. And like we had some good laughs.
I need to play a bit more because it feels like the Predator is super underpowered when you're playing against a squad of 4.
I don't know. See, it's a bit weird because we haven't even mentioned like the progression system in that it follows like what is a good comparison. So basically, if you start, you've got your default loadout, okay, but you have a profile level that the more you play, you get XP levels up. As you level up your profile, you get to unlock more loadouts. Like you can have more custom loadouts, you unlock more weapons, different perks,
like
whatever.
A Call of Duty style thing.
I suppose it is like Call of Duty, but then it's weird because if I were to play the Predator like from level 1, I'm immediately at a disadvantage because I haven't unlocked
like any of his gear,
some other stuff. I mean, we played against a Predator that had like some sort of, and I don't know if did the game bug out or something because it looked like he had a sort of cloaking system like Mirage has in Apex, and that like there was a hologram or decoy or whatever. But I don't know if that was the game bugging out because we went through the menu, we didn't see.
I saw a sound decoy,
like
but not anything like we saw.
Not that, yeah. But it's weird that the progression's tied behind in that. But like I was even saying, if you're playing on Fireteam, whatever, you get certain perks so that do clearly give you an advantage. Like I can have an extended clip. I've got better. I suppose like perks aren't like a big advantage, but the extended clip, for example, I'm like, that's a pretty substantial thing. Starting with extra ammo is like
it was huge because I was running out of ammo so quickly.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, it does incentivize you to play more. And
they also don't tell you about that perk system. Like it was just like, oh, this thing's empty. I don't know what's going on here.
We played a bunch. We loaded into a bunch of games where we see our teammates with like little icons on their profile, and ours were blank. We're like, oh,
yeah.
Those are actual perks we just haven't equipped yet.
And like there are a bunch of perks already unlocked. It's not like you need to wait for them to unlock. Yeah.
But it's such a weird thing because I feel like the game could be really good, but it just held back by silly things like that where like why is there no tutorial? For example, why is there's just no quick, even just a video saying like, hey, here's how you play Fireteam. You know, you've got to go and do this. You've got perks, etc., etc. It's just
It doesn't point
throws
you in the
in
right
and then-
directions. Yeah.
No, so and I don't know if that's because I mean this isn't like a AAA title or an indie title per se. It's like a double A maybe.
I think it's like $20
I
to
don't know.
buy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so the fee's not expensive, but it feels like there are some things that could definitely be
Yeah.
improved. But I mean, this is the same team who did Friday the 13th, which, from my understanding, also launched poorly, but over time got better. Like got its own cult following, and the game progressively got improved. But yeah, like despite all of that, it's a good bad.
It's definitely a
action
good
game.
bad. It's like like
Yeah.
when you're playing as the fire team, the first person shooting doesn't feel super great, but it's not like bad. It's like just fine.
I think the problem is that when you play Call of Duty,
Oh yeah, you get spoiled.
and nothing else replicates that. Like I immediately, my first comment is like, oh, I've got like I know it's locked to 30 FPS, but there are moments where it dips a little bit, and I'm immediately like, oh, it's not.
Yeah,
smooth.
it doesn't feel smooth
Like,
at all.
come on,
Yeah.
it's not. The movement doesn't feel great because it's like feel like I'm hitching a bit, whatever. But I mean, not everyone's got the sorcery of Activision. and
They've
that
also
engine,
put the
so-
ping button on a terrible button. It's on the D-pad,
Oh my God.
which was in Call of Duty Warzone for a while until they changed it fairly recently. It's just a horrible button for ping because I can't move while I'm pinging.
Well, what I don't understand, Apex has done, like Apex, I think we can give them credit for the ping system because they, to my understanding, did it first and best. I mean, like ping systems have existed, but Apex like perfect.
Even Evolve had a ping system, which is fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. But like people should just look to that, to how do they pull it off, because that's really the best way you
I
can
think
make
they
a ping
learn
system.
half
Like, put
the
on a
lesson.
shoulder button
Like
and
they're like, cool, the ping system is there. We need a ping system, but they don't go as far to be like, oh, why is the ping system so good? Oh, it's because it's on a button that like is so accessible.
it's on a button. When you ping something, it gets called out like distinctly on the map. Because even though we were pinging, it's like it just places a marker. There's no immediate sound or alert. It's just,
And as far as I know,
like,
L1 isn't used for anything. Because like you have R1 for your grenade, but you have to switch between healing and grenade, and it's only mapped to that button anyway.
so I don't
what-
know. But I mean, that's the sort of thing they can fix.
Yeah.
Or-
I don't think that's
yeah.
a particularly hard thing to patch or even to give the option. So like give players the option to remap something in the menu, you know.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, those are initial impressions. I haven't played
I'm going to be playing
too
more
much.
today
I'm hoping.
with you.
Yeah, I want to play a bit more
Yeah.
this weekend. Good lord.
Good lord.
So
Good
we'll see
Predator.
how that goes. Good Predator.
But
Sure, that's all
that's
the games
basically
you've
all the
been
games
playing.
you've been playing.
I mean, I've played. We've already touched on Animal Crossing. I've a little bit further in Final Fantasy VII. Still a good time. Yeah,
Thankfully, there's lots
You-
of game news, but let's get to
News.
game releases first.
for a change.
Yeah.
All the even game releases.
For a change, this might be a
Yo,
shorter
this-
episode than usual.
It might actually be the normal hour and a half. Maybe not even.
Yo, who knows? So today is May 1st. We're recording on the Friday, just a bit earlier. So, can you believe May 1st? Wow.
Oh my god. Where's this year gone?
So we are looking at games. Well, there's one game. Yeah,
Really?
there's literally one game.
Holy
Looking
shit.
at games from now until May
What is it?
8th. And the only game I see on this list is something called Someday You'll Return, which is on PC. Let's see what that's about.
Okay.
Someday You'll Return. Seems like a very hard game to Google
Just
because that
like
seems like
that.
it's going to be like a lyric for a... Okay,
Yeah.
I'm wrong. It came up with the game immediately.
Huh.
Ooh,
Look
this
at that
actually
SEO
looks
paying
pretty
off.
cool. Someday You'll Return is a story-driven psychological horror game about a desperate search for a missing daughter deep in the woods where you swore you'd never return. Brought to you by the creative duo behind Julia Among Stars. That was all one sentence, by the way.
Oh wow.
It's made in Unreal Engine, so visually it looks pretty cool. It
That's
looks a
cool.
lot like okay, whoa, some of these character models are a bit weird. It looks like an Outlast-ish vibe, I don't know, or like Blair Witch, which I played last year, which I don't know, horror game.
Scares.
Yeah. This game may
Scares and
contain
stuff.
frequent violence and gore and general mature content.
Oh boy.
It's out on May 5th. It's on Steam. Don't see. I
That's the
don't, I
only
don't
game
see
you
a
can buy
price,
this week.
Yeah.
If you have nothing to play though, listen, this is a great time to pick up on that
Oh
backlog.
yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking when I finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm trying to think like, what am I gonna now play? Like I've spent a lot. I mean, I know I spent a lot of time playing Counter-Strike. I put a bunch of time back into Mario Maker. Still playing Animal Crossing, but where is the next game? And I've been thinking. I mean, we can get into that with news, but there's a new Assassin's Creed.
Oh boy,
It's been shown
yes.
now. And that's made me think like, you know what, people have really been raving about Odyssey, and just Assassin's Creed in general seems to have like done a full about turn since Origin. So maybe it's time I get into that
I've been thinking the
franchise.
same, like because when I tried out Origins and Odyssey, I didn't really have the time to invest into them. So I've been thinking of going back to Origin, especially because I've heard like if you play Odyssey and then go back to Origin, it's a bit jarring and difficult. So I want to give Origins and Odyssey a go, especially now that
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is out. Should we talk about
Valhalla,
news?
as per the, I mean, there was like a
So
teaser
many.
however long ago,
so many leaks
like
and
bunch of
teasers.
teasers, and it's been for a long time. We've suspected it's a Norse setting, and would you know it? It's a Norse setting, which is very cool. But I agree with John Michael mentioned it this week. He's holding out for an Assassin's Creed set in Japan. I'm like, yeah, that would actually be pretty damn cool.
I feel like they've been
setting.
saying. I feel like people have been wanting that since like Assassin's Creed 2 even.
Back in the day, yeah. But look, the Norse setting I think is very cool.
I thought that the reveal trailer was kind of cool because it was like the English like talking about how the Vikings are such barbarians, and the trailer is just showing you like some game mechanics, like you are going to be tending to a village and raising like your settlers, your Viking settlers, and then like basically fighting when you're threatened. So that's interesting.
But the trailer was interesting as well. Like you said, the Vikings are portrayed as these savage people, but I love the contrast of like the English dude says one thing and then it shows the Viking characters like caring for their kids.
Yeah, that was really cool. It looks like
whatever.
he's like in battle,
Very
but
cool,
he's
yeah.
like play fighting with his kid. It was like really well done, I thought. Yeah, it looks cool. So basically the broad strokes of it are, it's another open world RPG. It's going to retain some of the RPG natures of, the past games. You'll have two characters. So male and female version of Eivor, who is the protagonist. So you'll be able to choose again.
Although I've not seen the female anywhere.
I've only seen, I think the only shot of her so far is from the collector's edition statue, which is kind of bizarre. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that.
So I don't know why there's no like in-game screenshots of female Eivor, but yeah.
Yeah. Let me look at this.
So based on the interviews with some of the team, this is going to follow on from, well, it's going to directly reference the ending of one of Odyssey's DLCs, this Atlantis DLC, which, Odyssey got really mythical and weird and strange in cool ways. So Valhalla will follow on from that. And there was a quote here on GameSpot, they've reported on it, that basically this story is a nice capping off point for the story that has been building up over like Origins and Odyssey, and also incorporates a lot of the older Assassins. So it's not
that's cool.
Ubisoft saying this is going to be the last Assassin's Creed, but it's a nice like, this is the culmination of a bigger story type thing. So
and it's a break for another 3 years,
Yeah.
and it's the next gen of Assassin's
essentially,
Creed.
oh, that's another thing. This one's launching cross-generation.
Which is
Yeah.
very cool. I think you tweeted this morning. It's like one of the first games to have I think Cyberpunk has it, but there's like only a handful of games that have this confirmed.
Yeah, the
you buy on
smart
this
smart
gen.
delivery thing on Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, everyone keeps asking, is this going to be the same on PS5? But no one really knows because Sony hasn't really spoken about it.
No.
So, not sure.
I think Sony would be incredibly silly
It
to
would
not
be
have.
a huge problem if they suddenly said they're not going to support it. Yeah.
Shit.
But basically, Microsoft opened the floodgates saying all of our first-party games are going to follow this route, but obviously they can't force third parties. But they're basically saying we're open to the idea. So CD Projekt Red already said if you buy Cyberpunk, you only have to buy it once. You will get the Xbox One and the Series X version irrespective. It doesn't matter what console you buy it on.
That's very cool.
And now Assassin's Creed Valhalla is supporting that feature as well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
but
other publishers will follow suit, because I think when you have developers like Ubisoft and CD Projekt Red behind it, it becomes a thing of like the people that don't support
kind
it
of can't not do
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Like if EA comes out and says we're not supporting it, like that just opens up all sorts of hell for them.
Sure. So I'm looking at the collector's edition. Why is this character not seen in anywhere else? It's so weird. Because I've never seen her. I haven't seen her in any.
This was a criticism when Odyssey was revealed as well, because you had Cassandra and Alexios. Yeah, but Alexios was the one predominantly featured in the marketing. So it was like,
which it's such a weird thing for me, because like, if I think of Odyssey, like Cassandra's definitely the more popular pick. Like I see very little about Alexios being like praised, or like not that in a bad way, but it seems like a lot of people gelled with Cassandra more. So I don't know. I kind of thought that this would be the game that they focus specifically on. Like, I mean, have both choices, but they promote it in the way they've done it now, but with the female protagonist.
Yeah, I think it's weird though, because like, firstly, like kudos to Ubisoft for doing this at all, because it's a massive undertaking, like recording the entire game with two different voice actors,
basically,
and then making sure that it all works twice. So, you know, that's not to say that, oh, they should not give you the choice. It's like, it's more difficult to give you the choice than to say only male protagonist or only female protagonist. Like, so I just don't understand. Well, I sort of understand why they only got the male protagonist, because that's the nature of marketing. I'm pretty sure they understand who their main audience is and understand what that main audience wants, and that's why the male protagonist is front and center. But I just think, like you said, after Odyssey and Cassandra being so popular, it just seems a bit odd.
I honestly thought they would pivot just even for this one game. Because, like, I think that even them doing that for Odyssey was them testing the waters. Like, okay, we're going to give you both protagonists, you know? And it did very well.
Yeah.
Like, I think it paid off massively. But look, let's see how. I mean, we've only seen the reveal trailer and a couple of screenshots, so I don't know.
I mean, we might see more
what
next
lies
week
ahead.
because starting into the next bit of news, Microsoft, an hour after Valhalla was announced, they basically said, hey, on May 7th, so that's Thursday, we're revealing, they're basically hosting an event that is going to show third-party Xbox Series X games. So this isn't first-party games, so you won't see new looks at Halo and whatever. There's rumors of them working on another Perfect Dark, which is interesting. But this will basically, Ubisoft will be showing off the first gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and you'll probably see games that will also come to PS5, but Microsoft is taking the opportunity to show them off first, which is always a big win.
Wow.
Like, because the brand association is a big thing. So, and it's our first look at next gen, which is super exciting.
Yeah, which I'm like, forget the third party stuff. I want to see what games actually look like.
I'm stoked.
Because, sorry, I'll keep criticizing that video that Microsoft showed with State of Decay 2's loading times. I was like, that is like the worst thing to demo, because even on Series X, it's still
like 4 seconds.
Like longer than I thought it would be. I was expecting like instant. It's like,
and it's also like when it loads in, it's like, okay, this looks like a game I could play today. Like, it doesn't have that wow fact. I think that's the thing that both Microsoft and Sony are going to struggle to convey, is like the big step forward for them is these SSD speeds that affect like the design of the game. And I think that's very hard to demo. It's sort of a thing that you feel when you play. So I suspect both of them are going to run into the issue of these games look good, but people are going to be like, okay, but they're not that much better looking. But the other real improvements are like behind the scenes. So
yeah, So load times, that audio that Sony keeps.
Oh
going.
yeah, that's a very difficult thing for them to demo. But like again, when you use it, could be it's to me it reminds me of HDR. HDR is one of the most difficult things to demo because it requires people who are watching it to
Right,
have
setup.
an HDR display already. So like, how do you convince someone to buy an HDR display when they can't even see it? Like,
I don't know.
so yeah, and that's why I think
Wild.
there's so much misconceptions about HDR still today. People going like, I don't understand what the big deal is, but like, let me tell you, when it's set up, that shit is game changing. It is amazing.
Life changing.
Really is something. So, but yeah, that's happening on
Okay.
May 7th, and Jason Schreier of formerly Kotaku, now Bloomberg,
Formerly Kotaku.
he said that Sony's is a few weeks away still. So interesting.
Oh boy. Well, I want to see both. Let's have both. Thank
Well,
you very much.
it seems end of summer is going to be big because Microsoft said their first party showing is coming end of summer. And along with that, Nintendo, there's a report that Nintendo is not hosting
Yes.
an E3 Direct and will instead keep it for later after summer, probably as well, which is very far away.
But that is so I don't understand because now like bouncing to Nintendo, they've released Animal Crossing. Real good game. It came out in what, March?
Yeah, it was like end of
now? Was
March,
it
yeah.
March? Okay.
Time doesn't mean anything anymore.
Oh, it doesn't mean anything anymore. What is coming
Yeah.
next? Like they've been so good at laying out the roadmap for the Switch has been around 3 years now.
I think
Is
it was
2 or
the
3
3-year
3 years, I
birthday at the
think.
beginning of March, yeah.
Yeah, and it's usually they've always done like these mini or these big directs where it's like, here's the next 3 to 6 months. And the moment you hit the end of that roadmap, immediately it's like, okay, here's the next 3 to 6 months. And it's the first time to my knowledge where it's like, okay,
Yeah, there's nothing
like,
teased or
what now? You know?
it's like the only
Yeah.
things we know about
know-
are like a Zelda expansion
It's-
and a Metroid that got rebooted only a year ago. So that's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know.
And like, Bayonetta 3 as
when
well.
yeah, but when you tell me end of summer, I'm like, that's quite far. That's what, like August, September.
Yeah, I mean, are we really going to wait till August to even get a glimpse of what might be coming further down the line for
anything.
Switch? Like, there's nothing really lined up for the next few months. So that is,
no.
but you know, given the state of the world at the moment, I think plans are changing so rapidly.
Things just getting delayed by a couple of months. So
I don't know. I mean, I suspect with all the rumors around how their E3 presence was going to be all Mario anniversary focused, I don't think anymore that we're going to get that Breath of the Wild sequel this year. I don't think we're going to get. I would
No.
be shocked.
don't say it.
Bayonetta 3 should launch this year, but I don't think it will. Like, it's been so
it
long
will.
since it was revealed, but I don't. And I
Yeah.
think this year's the Switch's main allure is going to be like, hey, remember all these Mario games you loved? They're on Switch now. Which,
Let me tell you, if Mario Galaxy comes to Switch, like, that's fine.
I mean,
I'll replay.
it's
the
cool. Like,
game.
I'm
I'll
stoked
be
for that,
happy.
especially because I haven't played it. But I can understand someone who's played all those games to be like, okay, but what's new? You know?
Yeah, what's happening? But I mean, even the existing stuff. So like Animal Crossing is fresh, and that's gonna be updated for years to come with seasonal events and updates, whatever. But like, so I've recently gotten back into Super Mario Maker, and that just happened to coincide with a big update, which they've said is like the last major update for Super Mario Maker. I'm like, but the game's not even a year
Yeah,
old.
they supported
Like,
it for
I
a lot
know-
less than I thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, they did some significant updates, but I'm like, surely, like, I don't know what you would add, but surely there are ways to keep
Supporting it.
improving and adding to that game. Yeah, like they've got their ninja speedrun levels. I'm like, that's cool. We get a new level every 1 or 2 weeks. But
I mean, Splatoon got a whole year
beyond
extra.
that,
Like, I just don't
Yeah,
understand why they're cutting support so quickly. Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Been a
weird.
weird week for that sort of thing because, like you said, Mario Maker is not getting any more. Splatoon 2 got like this Hail Mary last Splatfest out of nowhere, but it's like going to be the last one. Star Wars Battlefront 2 got its last big update this week, and DICE said that they are now done with it and moving on to the next Battlefield, which will launch next year.
Oh, man.
So yeah, it's it definitely feels like we're getting to the end of a generation but that Nintendo is
people are
also
just
like
wrapping
not
up
getting
and
to
stuff.
the end of a generation, but doing kind of the same things. Like it's super weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of how things change at a moment's notice, we have release dates for The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima.
Surprise. That is completely unexpected.
Yeah, I did not expect
like
that.
especially The Last of Us.
Yeah. I think what didn't surprise me was that Ghost of Tsushima got delayed. But what did surprise me was that The Last of Us basically just took its place. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. But did we talk of it was last week that The Last of Us 2 had that leak.
Yeah, it was late last week, just before we recorded, I think.
So do you think this is a direct result of that? It must be. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
So I don't think so, because it happened like a day or two afterwards. I just think it was like really weird coincidence that they happened so close together. I think what we've heard from Sony is that, well, from Naughty Dog, was that the delay was because of uncertainties surrounding logistical issues. So it wasn't a matter of like, we need more time. It's like, we literally do not know when these issues will be resolved, so we can't give like an estimate. And it seems like those issues, they got around them or found a solution to them quicker than they expected, which led to, well, right now the Last of Us 2 is out on... Wow, I should have got that before I started talking about this. Why is it not on this list?
I don't know.
The last... Oh, there we go. Oh, God, this list just says 2020. It hasn't been updated.
I know.
The Last of Us 2. I think it's like June 14th or something like that. Oh, my God. Why are none of these things updated? They all still say May.
Where did I see it though? Maybe it's on
I'm going to the PlayStation website.
PlayStation, yeah.
Because if they haven't
Even on
updated
their
it,
Twitter,
I give up. There we go, 19th of June.
Hang on.
My bad, I was close. So,
19
Ghost of
June.
Tsushima was originally the end of June, like the 2 weeks after E3 sort of thing. So now it's been delayed to the end of July, as far as I can tell.
17th
Is it
of
17th of July? Okay.
17th July, so it's like
month.
just under a month after.
So like if you take it into like consideration, The Last of Us 2 was meant to launch on May 29th. Now it's out on June 19th, which is just a 3-week delay, which seemed like a really weird thing for Sony to go out of their way to like delist the game from PSN, refund everyone, then put it back up with a date just 3 weeks later, and then force everyone to pre-order again. And like there were reports on like Reset Era and stuff of people being like, I haven't received my refund yet, and now I can like pre-order it again. It's like such a bit of a mess. So, and then like you said, the story details got leaked, and there's a lot of nonsense surrounding that. Luckily, I haven't seen any of the leaks, but I've seen a lot of journalists saying that people are intentionally trying to spoil it for them, which is, guys, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I mean, so we didn't talk about the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the actual teaser that happened this week. So the way they announced the setting was they had an 8-hour long stream of basically Boss Logic putting together the like digitally painting the key art for the
really
game,
cool
whatever.
concept, just way overdrawn, I think.
Yeah, look, I think in terms of actual the reveal, I think it's a cool thing because it keeps people coming back to check like how far is this
I guess
thing,
so.
what's happening.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people who are like actual artists saying they loved seeing how he did it, like how
that's fair. I think seeing his process is really fascinating. Yeah.
So like that's cool. But apparently, in the comments were like filled with the most absurd things, including Last of Us 2 spoilers. And it's like, why are people like this? I don't know. Like I just can't wrap my head around like, why would you intentionally try to be an asshole?
It's like I got it spoiled for me, so now I must try to ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
It's weird, and I've, as far as I can tell, because I haven't gone looking for it because I have no need to, so why would I? there's like discourse around like unhappiness on the plot details, which are, when you're taking tidbits of plot details without context, it's really easy to pass judgment. I know, like when the last, what was the last Star Wars called? Fuck, I'm just blanking now. There we go, that one. When the previous, when Colin Trevorrow's script came out, he was working on it originally before J.J. Abrams took over. Everyone was like, man, this script sounds so much better. And it's like, yeah, the broad strokes of it sound cool, but like, how would it have been executed? So those are two very different things. So
I don't know. The internet is a wild place.
But I also think this is why we haven't seen a lot of next gen stuff from Sony, because they're more concerned about selling these two remaining PS4 games than letting you know about all the awesomeness coming with PS5.
And to be honest, these aren't just like two, like, not that any game is like a half-hearted release, but these are like two big
these are flagship ones. Like,
releases.
It's like Naughty Dog and then Sucker Punch, who haven't released a game since the PS4 launch. Like, think about that.
Yeah, so and it's quite a way to go out, honestly. To PlayStation 4.
It's like a sequel to the best-selling PS3 game, and then a brand new IP on top of that. So, yeah,
no wonder they.
I just want to see the PS5 reveal, because I suspect we're going to see Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Like, there's all these rumors around there.
I'm pretty sure we will. And it's far too early, but I mean, with the success of Final Fantasy VII Remake, I mean, that game's in a weird place now as well, because it came out on PS4, the part 1. And now what happens with part 2? I mean, we've spoken about this. What happens with part 2? Is it a PS5 exclusive? Will it run on
Do they
PS4?
spend a lot of time like sprucing up the next part to take advantage of all the new hardware? Like,
well, I can tell you, so just on that note, with my experience, I'm still loving Final Fantasy VII Remake, but one thing that drives me crazy every now and then is you feel the load times. Like, not between actual gameplay. Like, the load times are pretty fine, but if you like sprint across town and you talk to an NPC, sometimes they'll sit there for a few seconds and then they'll start talking, because it's obviously loading the dialogue or doing something like that. Like, I won't have that next gen.
That's super weird. It's like you've progressed through the world faster than it anticipated.
Then it could load, So there's things like that. I'm like, surely, like, I won't have that next gen. So
hopefully not.
Interesting.
What else? Last of Us 2 file size is 100 gigabytes for downloading. Some quick news here. Cyberpunk 2077 won't be censored in Australia. Receives R18 rating, which means it can still be sold.
I also saw a headline. Where did I see it now? It's gone. Cyberpunk also gets an 18 plus rating in Brazil.
Oh, really?
The dev says, quote, "We don't fuck around."
Oh, I know that dev. That was the CD Projekt Red dev I interviewed at E3 last year. He's the lead quest designer, if I'm not mistaken. Very passionate guy. I like him a lot.
Pawal
Sasko, yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
He was very passionate and very cool, so I'm not surprised he said that. Stuff that happened overnight. The International 2020 got delayed, unsurprisingly.
I did it. I didn't see that.
It was meant to be held in Stockholm, Sweden this year. But Valve has said that they are delaying it to they're not even giving like a tentative 2020 date, because they're like, we don't foresee this happening this year, so it will happen next year.
2021. It makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's still sort of hanging there. Like, I know E3 has been canned or whatever, but like, I think Gamescom has also been...
It has, because the laws in Germany prevented them. I think they're doing a digital event.
Yeah, but then think about all the others that follow. This Tokyo Game Show, Paris Games Week. I'm sure those are also
I'm sure those are done.
It's not postponed, just like, it's not happening this year, come back next year sort of thing.
The thing that I don't understand is when they delay it and they're like, we'll delay it by a month. I'm like, guys, like, you're just setting yourself up for like having to redelay.
Yeah,
like,
keep delaying it.
Just like admit it's super not going to happen this year. So yeah. GameSpot also announced their own digital event thing. So a few weeks ago, IGN basically said they're going to be hosting an event. I think it's called Free Days, Free Plays. I'm not sure. That is basically going to like fill the void of E3 with the digital reveals of some games and previews and stuff like that. And GameSpot is doing something similar. It's called Play for All, and it's going to be throughout the month of June. So not just like 2 or 3 days, throughout the month of June. So basically, I'm just reading the announcement here. Timur Hussain wrote this up. He says, beginning in early June and spanning several weeks, Play for All will be the premier destination for gamers worldwide to get up-to-date information on the most exciting announcements. We're partnering with major video game publishers, including Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, Deep Silver, Devolver Digital, Larian Studios, Google Stadia, Bandai Namco, Private Division, Square Enix, Sega, and 2K Games, among others, to bring you the latest and greatest in gaming. On top of that, we're teaming up with Direct Relief, a humanitarian aid organization whose mission is to improve the health and lives of the world's most vulnerable and at-risk populations, many of which are affected by poverty and emergencies. So basically, they're going to be helping reveal a lot of games and then raising money for charity at the same time. So that's cool. I'm just reading through the list of
games are cool.
Confirmed publishers. There's quite a bit. So Private Division is cool. 2K is pretty big. Square Enix is big, and Sega. CD Projekt Red and Bethesda.
Bandai Namco there.
I mean, Bethesda is interesting because Bethesda came out and said they're not hosting their own digital events. So I guess they're doing this. So I guess Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo are doing their own thing, and I assume EA will do their own thing. Ubisoft, I think, also said they're going to be looking at a digital event, if I'm not mistaken. They haven't confirmed anything yet, though. So,
well, I mean, this just I've kept saying with E3 gone now, people will start realizing. I think that why do they need to cram their time? Like, as a consumer, I love E3 because the hype is cool. Like we get a whole week full of all these big game reveals and this news. But as a publisher or game developer, you kind of risk drowning in all the other news.
Definitely, yeah.
And like Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's something that's usually shown at E3. Now they did it like a month before, more than a month before, and they had all the headlines for the past 2-3 days. Like, here's the teaser, here's the actual 8-hour stream, here's the reveal trailer, and like you said, next week they might show more.
Yeah.
And like that, I mean, Assassin's Creed grabs headlines whether it's at E3 or not, but it's like they're getting most of the attention.
Yeah,
now.
they have undivided
quite
attention on that. So like websites can run so many stories on just that. So
so just on raw numbers from a PR perspective, it's like, shit, that's really cool. Will they? I mean, I don't think if E3 comes back, people will go back to E3. But if I were Ubisoft, we would be like, why don't we just do our own
100%.
event? Like,
but I also think there's this E3 was cool for all the announcements, but it also gave a platform to like smaller publishers because like all your journalists were there in that space anyway, so they might as well come see what you're doing. So I think they're the ones that benefit most from these sorts of events because without E3 they lose a lot of coverage because it's like cool. Bandai Namco can host a stream, but will they get the same numbers as like a Ubisoft? Probably not.
Probably not.
Perfect Private Division, who's like the indie label for 2K, they won't get the same numbers.
No, but I think that's why. So the big people, Ubisoft, all of them can sort of manage their own
100%.
stuff. But I think these smaller people have to like pivot off IGN or GameSpot or even Kinda Funny. They've done it a few times now where they do like an indie showcase.
Yeah.
I'm like, obviously it doesn't get those numbers, but it's better than not having any numbers. So.
It's funny you mentioned Kinda Funny because collaborating with GameSpot on this will be the team from Giant Bomb, who are also owned by CBS, so that doesn't make that's not a surprise really. Kinda Funny's Greg Miller, No Clips Danny O'Dwyer, and more guests that will be announced over the coming weeks. So that's cool. I know Kinda Funny has worked with GameSpot in the past on E3 coverage. They hosted their live streams and stuff like that. So it's cool. Yeah, I like that. I like when all these companies, like gaming companies, get together instead of like being like, no, we're going to do our own coverage.
Separating,
like, let's help
Yeah.
out, you know.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I
Okay.
think that's most of the news.
Is that news? Yeah.
Wonderful 101 got delayed. I saw that, the remaster. So that's not happening. I think it's been delayed until June. So, yeah, sorry.
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel. But that's mostly it.
Okay, should we get to questions?
Yeah, boy.
Questions.
If you want to send us questions, you can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. Ooh, sorry, I had to burp there. You can message us on social media at Checkpoint Chat on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok, everywhere. I forgot to mention I just briefly mentioned that Travis Scott event in Fortnite that happened last week.
That
shit
Fortnite.
was
Did you
super
watch
cool.
it?
Yeah.
Wait, did we not talk about it? Why do I feel like... Oh, no, did that happen this week?
Maybe we did.
You're right.
Maybe we did talk about
time
it
means
last week.
nothing anymore.
I don't know.
Because this week was short, but I feel like... Did we?
I can't
don't
remember.
actually know.
I just know it was like really cool, and you can watch the whole 12-minute thing on YouTube. It's fucking incredible. I think it's awesome. Yeah.
Goddamn. Yeah. Okay, let's get to questions. Over on email, we have the steady supply from Megs, who has titled his emails Lockdown Level 4 Takeaway Blitz, and then he titles them Part 1 through to 9. So, yeah.
Jesus.
Welcome to Lockdown Level 4. Who will you be calling to order fast food from? Will Matty be speed dialing Franco's every 2 minutes after 10 a.m.? Will Alessandro make a mad stealthy dash to the petrol station for the Monster refill?
Oh, I've been doing that in level 5.
You've been doing Monster anyway.
Pick and Pay has been selling those things in like 6-packs, so I've been good.
I mean, and I said did I say it before, after we started recording that I have been having Franco's?
Yeah, you said during this recording.
They've been doing, okay, so yeah, they've been doing frozen stuff, which is very cool. So, but in terms of actual fast food, shit's like I could do. This is like guilty pleasure stuff. I could do with McDonald's or like
K-Swizzle, as you say.
Some K-Swizzle,
which is such a bizarre name.
It's K-Swizzle, dog. Sometimes you just need some of that K-Swizzle in your life.
I really want my McDonald's, but I don't know if we mentioned. I think it was before we were recording.
There's none delivered.
Yeah, so McDonald's is only opening some branches, and there's none near me.
That makes no sense though, because you have like literally 2 or 3,
like within like a 5-kilometer radius.
Not even 5 k's away. Yeah.
I'm so bleak. I just want a little junior cheeseburger. That's all I want.
Okay, but you did say Rockamama's is a...
Yeah, I mean, I need to check like a Mr. Delivery app and see what's open. Opening those apps recently has been so sad because everything's just closed.
It's just closed. Well, when I opened Uber Eats so many weeks ago, they're like, we're delivering essentials, and it's like, I can order a bar of chocolate from like Pick and Pay for 30 rand.
Or I could just go to Pick and Pay and buy the chocolate.
Holy hell. Yeah. Let me tell you, if you want to invest, those are probably the best companies to invest in at the moment.
Yeah,
I think,
they're going to be
like
delivering a lot.
Amazon's stocks, I think, are the highest they've ever been.
But I think Jeff Bezos said that they're still planning on losing money, just because even with the increased demand and whatever, it's like costing them more to get stuff out. I don't know. Jeff Bezos is evil, and I don't like him. So,
okay. Just to clue Matty in about Zwei, the Argus adventure that was mentioned last week. That game came out in 2001 on PC, 2004 on PS2, 2008 on PSP, all Japan only.
Wait, what game is this?
Then it got Zwei, the Argus adventure.
Oh, was that the one you mentioned last week? And we were both like, what the fuck is Zwei? Oh, wow, it really is spelled Zwei.
Yeah, Zwei. Then it got released, translated, and released on Steam in 2018 for worldwide.
It almost sounds like slang that could work in like Cape Town. Zwei.
Zwei. It's this version that is sadly locked at 800 by 860. There are command line switches to stretch and go high resolution.
Yeah, that's a really bad resolution. Holy shit.
Damn.
The Argus adventure. Zwei, the Argus adventure. That's the Cape Town version.
The Argus adventure, yeah. Question 3. What chairs do you guys prefer to use while working or gaming? Is it the gaming chairs with in-your-face branding and colors that are slowly morphing into arcade game?
They really are.
Or the leather office chair that has the same value as a second-hand PlayStation 4 fat? Maybe it's Omar's trusty wooden chair that is
Dear
older than you
fuck
and your
no.
partner.
Could you imagine working on a wooden
Perhaps
chair
you
all day?
Holy shit. Perhaps you guys have gone the radical route as I have and are using a knee chair.
What is a knee
instead.
chair?
What is a knee chair? Megs has to send us another mail next week saying a knee chair. Only released in Japan until 2000.
You sit on your knees.
Now on Steam.
I use like an office-like chair, but it's not one of those leather or fake leather ones. It's one that's got like a material mesh that's like really, high tension or whatever.
But that's good
yeah,
for your
I love
back,
it.
though,
Like
isn't it?
I bought it like 7 years ago, and I think I paid like 2,500 rand at the time. I was like, wow, this is a lot for a chair, but it's lasted like
It's a lot
7
of money, but it's lasted.
years. Yeah, I've been looking at a new one, not because there's anything wrong with this one, but because my parents are at home and they've never really had to work from home, so they don't have chairs. So I was like, I could give them my office chair and get a new one. And I've been looking at those gaming ones, and there's one that's really nice because a lot of them use either leather or that fake leather, and that fake leather fucking sucks. Like after a year, it just starts peeling off. It's shit. It's but Corsair has one that is made of like fabric, but it's like 6,000 rand, and I'm just like, no.
Oh, listen, those gaming chairs, I think they look very comfy, but some, like Mick said, some of them are just so colorful. I'm
There's
like,
ones with RGB strips on them that sync up to your computer.
my God,
Yeah,
really?
fucking nonsense.
So here's some context. For years, I sat on this old office chair that we got from like before I was born, like a very old. I mean, I think you could still like lower it and raise
One of
it,
those like
but it was,
cushiony ones. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, but that thing had no lower back support, which I think I've got like my lower back. I have to click it every now and then, and I get this immense sense of satisfaction. I think it's from that chair because it's like you get lumbar support where the lower back like comes out. This one was like the opposite. Like it went in. So it's like literally
It's like
no
giving
back
you a
support. And
spot for
I
you
sat
to
in that
like
thing-
slouch in, essentially.
Exactly. So I sat in that thing for years until I was like maybe 26, 27.
And you're
I
a tall
don't know.
person. You need all
And
that back support.
I'm a tall person. Now I've got an actual, like when I say an actual office shed is...
Are you talking about the one next
when
to
we
you or
bought
the
this,
one
it
that you're
was-
sitting on now?
No. So the one next to me is actually my chair from the office, which I got to bring home. Because obviously Lenska and I are both working from home. So I was like, well, I'm going to go get my office chair.
Oh,
We
wait,
both
you're
have
sitting
some
on the
nice
chair that
comfort.
is aggressive and pokes you.
Yes, so I'll tell you why it pokes me. So when we got it, I think it was like from Macro, like one and a
Nice.
half grand, whatever. But it's like
It's a very
office
comfy chair. Yeah.
But it's very comfy. But I think it was pleather because this shit started peeling like mad. And then about a couple years after, we decided to get the cover replaced, whatever, like have it, we have it recovered. And I think this is actual leather now because I've had it for a while and it hasn't started peeling. But inexplicably, when we got it back, I don't know how it was recovered, but you can, if you lean down on the armrest, you can feel the pins stabbing you, which is a hard lesson many people have to learn. So I learned it, but I've had Alessandro over to podcast. He sat in the chair and he's like leant in the armrest to sit up straight. And he's like,
it
"Ow."
hurts.
I'm like, oh yeah, you gotta be careful.
It's just like in the middle of recording, I just lean down because I'm getting a bit tired. And it's like, what the? It's just, it's really sore.
I know now. It's like a muscle memory thing. And like the moment I'm about to lean out, I'm like, no.
It's like someone
just,
trying to take like those little things that prick your finger with to take a little bit of blood.
It's
Yeah.
exactly like
horrible.
that, yeah.
But yeah,
Good lord.
Yeah, I've been looking at those gamer chairs, and while they look very comfy and whatever, I fundamentally struggle with the idea of spending 6,000 rand for a chair. Like, I can't.
I mean, if you think of the chair you bought 7 years ago, 2.5, it's almost like that's
Yeah.
equivalent,
Probably.
kind of.
Probably, but jeez, it's a lot of
But
money.
that's the thing. If oh my god, Lenska's, what did you bake? Banana
my
muffins. Yes, guess what I'm having. Okay, question 4. What's Alessandro been streaming and what's on the Barbosa watch list?
Oh, like watching?
Well, what's, I suppose, yeah.
I
What is on
watched
your watch
Ozark
list?
season 3, which is really good. 2 thumbs up.
So what is Ozark? I heard my colleagues
Ozark is
talking
really
about it
good.
this week.
It's a Netflix exclusive series. And the first season and a bit reminded me a lot of Breaking Bad. Yeah.
What my colleague said he believes it's better than Breaking Bad. Like he's.
I think it's different now.
But is it that same sort of setting?
Sort of, yeah. It's like a family that seems pretty normal on the outside that's involved in some really shady shit, but they're not producing drugs. They're helping launder money for like drug cartels. So it's like, and it's got the same sort of like very slow burn tension and very fucked up like it's all about like Walter White in Breaking Bad is like he starts out as this person who's doing this for his family, but then eventually gets sucked into it in a way that he's like addicted to it, like addicted to the rush of the danger. And Ozark is sort of the same principle. Yeah. There's 3 seasons out now, and this 3rd season was probably the best. It's just phenomenal. It's really good. Yeah.
That's cool. Good Lord. I still need to watch Tiger.
Yeah, I've watched like 2 episodes and I don't know if I like it, honestly. I'm just like, this is weird and it's super weird, but like it's not that entertaining for me. I don't know.
Question 5. Matthew, does Alessandro get flustered, annoyed, sheepish, constipated, radical, twitchy, or triggered when loaded questions or content confront him?
What?
If yes, sorry, Alessandro, my captain or captain. I think because last week we had a question where I think you said this is a loaded question.
Oh yeah, there was a load. I can't remember what it was now.
I can confirm that he got neither constipated,
you don't
or
know
sheepish,
that.
or annoyed, or flustered. I mean, I don't know that, but based on what I saw on the webcam, you seem fine.
You don't know if I'm constipated. I could be constipated all the time. You wouldn't know. Yeah.
Right now,
I've been eating a lot of banana bread, so I could be very constipated.
I've got banana muffins.
Banana.
Okay, let's just wrap up so I can go
Banana
eat these fresh
bread was. Damn. I mean, it took like 5-6 days to let the bananas get ripe enough to make the banana bread, but
You know what Lenska does? She started putting a bit of granadilla into her batter. So they are like granadilla tasting banana bread muffins. It just tastes like Madeira,
yeah, I was about to say, you've got to taste a Madeira there. That's a good pro trick.
Question.
There. I like that.
Yeah, I think I don't know how she does it, but it's the thing of she incorporates 1 or 2 granadillas, and it changes the whole flavor.
Fresh granadilla is delicious
really
as well.
Nom nom nom. Question 6. Peeps, what are your game controllers of choice on the PC? Is it the trusted and true Xbox gamepad series, or the fairly radical PlayStation 4 controller, or the out there designs of the Razers, the Neocons, etc., etc.? Perhaps you guys are using the Joy-Cons for added fun. Can you imagine using the Joy-Con?
I mean, I know you can, but
holy shit! Oh, how
you
would
can. They connect via Bluetooth. Yeah.
Is it Bluetooth? Okay.
I use Xbox controller.
Why would you?
It works
Xbox
best with
controller.
Windows. It's the most comfortable controller. I think I like it, and yeah.
It is super comfy. I love the PlayStation, but shit, that Xbox controller, I really love it. It's super
Especially if
comfy.
you've got one of the newer ones with Bluetooth. You don't even need like a little dongle or whatever. It's just like...
Yeah, I have to still plug mine in with the cable.
it's
I'm like,
fun.
that's annoying. But yeah, the next gen Xbox. I'm like,
that thing looks real nice.
I could treat myself to a new
That
controller.
thing looks... I'm really... Because my... So I've got 2 Xbox controllers, and the one that I have came with my original Xbox One back in 2013. So... It's got sentimental value because it says day 1 2013 on the controller.
That's
but
cool.
that controller is starting to like fuck up. Like, I don't know what's going on with some of the buttons. They're like double pressing. And so I might just retire it and just leave it be. And there's that new magenta translucent Xbox controller, which is very tempting.
They're custom controllers. Like credit to Xbox, because between Xbox Design Lab and just their whole range of out-the-box custom controllers are real
so nice.
And PlayStation, like, the reality is the PlayStation, because of the big touchpad, like, there's little room to customize it. It's like, I mean, they can, obviously, but the Xbox has really nailed it with shit. Like, you can really customize that thing, and they've done a good job with custom.
I like the bright color PS4 ones. Like, I've got when I had to buy a new DualShock because those controllers are garbage and break way too easily. That's the other thing. The PS4 controllers just fucking sucks. I bought a red one, which was a lot nicer than the black one, and I just really... They have like bright blue and bright... I think they have a orange one, if I'm not mistaken. They look pretty cool. Yeah.
See, but that's the thing though. Like the PlayStation ones, it's generally a hard color. Like here's a bright color or a different color, but there's no.
They
I don't
have
know,
their own
like,
crystal
Xbox
one, but it
have-
doesn't look that good. Like, yeah.
Nah.
Your the one that came with your Metal Gear one is pretty nice. It's like
my
silver.
Metal Gear
Yeah,
Solid.
that you see, that's nice. That like
Shring.
metallic silver.
See, this is actually a nice, but even this, like, it's so subtle in that it's really just the silver, and then it's got like the Diamond Dog logo.
But it works
Like,
with the
that's
black
cool.
accent, which is
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. I would like to get one of those
question
little
7.
back attachments for the PS4, but they're not brought into
yeah.
South Africa, so that sucks.
No, so we're all gonna cry. Cries in South Africa. Question 7, Matthew: have there been any more kitchen mishaps since the failed focaccia making sessions? Has Alessandro started making
No,
booze yet?
I don't miss booze.
Apparently, the thing is to make pineapple beer.
Yeah, a lot
whatever
of
the
people
hell it
doing that.
is.
I did that in
It's
high school, which was weird. It was part of one of our science projects. Yeah,
Right.
one of our matric science projects was to brew beer, which was interesting.
How did your parents buy into them? Like, no, my teacher said I must make beer. You're like,
One of my
no.
friends made phenomenal.
No.
Like he set up a whole proper kit, like not pineapple beer, like proper beer, and it was delicious. My pineapple beer sucked, so do not advise.
Damn it. So no, there's been no mishaps this week, but I don't know if I ever spoke about what happened a week or two before that, where Lenska burnt her hand. So remember she made, I told you about this deep fried.
That like
pizza,
deep dish
basically,
one, yeah.
Yeah, so I think what happened is we were busy eating. She made 2 of them, so we were busy eating the one in the dining room. Then she went to the kitchen to grab the other one out the oven. And because it was in a pan, like it's got a handle, okay, obviously, but the pan was in the oven. But obviously, she took it out with like a glove, whatever, put it down, did something, and then without thinking, she grabbed the handle. Because
your brain is just. Oh.
And she actually burnt her
Yeah, I
hand
can
very
imagine.
badly.
Because
Like,
even
we
though
had-
you grab it and you immediately let go, that initial. Oh.
Yeah, so we were even like, shit, do we have to take it to a hospital or whatever? But we put a lot of burn guard.
Burn shield.
That shit
Yeah,
is
that shit.
magic.
That shit
Burn
is
shield.
magic. Yeah.
It's like actual magic. So we like applied it
Yeah.
plenty in her hands, absolutely fine. But yeah, it was a thing of like, holy shit, she burnt it very
Jeez,
badly.
That sucks. Ow.
Yeah.
But it's the thing.
Yeah.
Like even though it's on there for a second, your brain is like you've grabbed it with the intent of picking it up, and like that split second where your brain's like, "This was a bad idea." Like, is
It's-
enough.
I'm gonna hang on for another.
Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna go
exactly.
now, yeah.
It's oof.
Shit. And it's weird because that happened like 3 weeks ago, and her hand healed very well, but only now, like the top layer of her skin's like starting to peel a bit.
Yeah, but that burn shield
Josh,
works.
it's
Like,
quite bad.
yeah, it's
Yeah, like two days later, it was the weirdest thing. You'd swear her hand was
yeah.
never burned.
We keep that
Like,
stuff
it
at home as
really
well because
fixed
it's
it.
just like it's the best thing
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
Okay. Question 8. Since Alessandro is on a game buying spree,
shit, yeah.
has Matthew done the same? Or are you saving your cash for unknown other things and hitting the backlog and awaiting review game codes? So I actually haven't bought anything. I think the last thing I bought...
Final Fantasy,
the last thing we
yeah.
bought was Final Fantasy VII, yeah. But I have been thinking there's a bunch of stuff on Game Pass that I want to play. Like there's Gris,
Oh, Agree.
whatever,
Yeah,
on Game
I
Pass.
do want to play that. I bought that on Switch the
Um,
other day because it was on special for like $90. So
Yeah, so, but I can play it on Game Pass. And there's another thing.
so
that
wait,
was
hold on.
added, I've gone
You've
blank.
stayed
I know-
subscribed to Game Pass. They got you.
I have.
They fucking got you.
No, but the thing is, it's cheaper on PC. It's like
I know,
$70.
but I do remember you're
Which
like, I'm
is-
subscribing for a month to play Ori. This is how they get you.
Just
This is
haven't
how they
cancelled.
get you.
This is how, oh, we actually missed that in news. Did you see that Microsoft they did their, what do you call it, like your annual shareholder blah blah blah, whatever it is. And I don't know if there's ever been a time before, but this thing showed that they have 10 million Game
Oh
Pass
yes, I did see
subscribers.
that. Yeah.
Which I find interesting because as far as I know, there've been no hard numbers ever shown before on Game
Yeah,
Pass. Am I
Microsoft, ever
mistaken?
since like this gen started not going their way, they stopped giving hard numbers on like everything. Yeah,
But 10
a
million
lot.
Game Pass subscribers, like that's
really
a
good.
shit ton
Yeah.
of people. If you're paying $10 a month, that's $100 million.
no, it's a
straight up
phenomenal
revenue
number, and I
month,
think Phil Spencer even said that they are soon going to wrap Game Pass into the xCloud preview, so any games on
I
Game
was thinking
Pass
that,
will
it's
be
like,
able to
yeah.
be streamed, which is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, just crazy. So other than Game Pass, like I have been, like I mentioned earlier, I'm thinking maybe like what is my next big game, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If I see it on sale, I'm very tempted.
Is it
to
not on
pick it up.
Games Pass? Oh no, it's not, because
No,
Uplay's got their own
no.
subscription nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
but
bought the XCOM spin-off, that Chimera Squad, because it was like $160, and then
Yeah.
I downloaded Gears Tactics off Game Pass as well. Then there's
damn.
this cyberpunk adventure game which people have been talking about called Cloudpunk, and it's like $120 on Steam, and it looks awesome. It looks really cool. So I'm probably going to pull the trigger. And
That's
when am I
cool.
going to play these? Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
Who knows? But like, so actually, I've got a list that I keep track of. I want to play. So these are just quick games. Like I've still got Spider-Man, which I never finished.
You haven't
I wanna
finished
do the
Spider-Man?
Dark Souls 3.
Oh no.
Nope. I've played like 15 hours, and I don't know. I just fell off because I think we got other shit to play. I want to play the Dark Souls 3 DLC, the Bloodborne DLC. I still have not played Cuphead.
At all?
And
Oh god.
at all. And weirdly enough, Cuphead is one of those games that is just, when it goes on sale, it doesn't. I mean, look, it's cheap, I know, but it doesn't go like a hard sale where it's like 75% off whatever. It's still like $200-$300, and it's
Yeah,
not on
you were
Game
saying
Pass,
so last week, and I was like shocked
which
by
I
that.
find
Yeah.
very weird. I still want to play that. I want to play Gree. I want to play Firewatch.
Firewatch
which I've
is
never
great.
Played.
Yeah, Firewatch is a good time.
I want to play Hellblade, and
I also haven't played Hellblade. I
there's
need to get to
plenty-
that as well.
Plenty to
Yeah,
keep
that's the
me
thing.
busy,
Like all these games
so-
are being delayed, and that sucks. But it's like the other day I booted up the Shadow of Mordor sequel, the Shadow of War, just because like I never got to it, and I messed around with it a bit. I was like, huh, yeah, I could play this. Yeah, and then I got more review games. So yeah.
Good times. Okay, last question from Meg says, guys, how has the video conferencing life been treating you? Have you been creative with your backgrounds, as in physically rearrange what is behind you to be more pleasing, or grabbed custom backgrounds like CD Projekt Red have offered to everyone? No,
I haven't been doing
video
much.
conferencing's
Yeah.
been fun. I mean, I only call you once a week, and then my actual team, we just do audio
Yeah,
calls. We don't
same.
put
Yeah,
video
we
on.
just do audio calls. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Like
it's been
I'm on
fun,
audio
I
calls
guess.
every day, but I can count maybe like 2 or 3 instances where I had to be on a video call. Like no one wants to be on a fucking video call.
Like shit, got to do my hair,
Yeah,
got to get
no one wants-
changed.
Did you see
gotta
that
look
tweet going
presentable.
around of some guy who was being interviewed over Zoom on the news, and he had like a fancy shirt and a tie, but like the angle of his camera,
Yes.
you could see he wasn't wearing pants, which was really funny.
Oh, you're like, okay, that's weird.
So funny.
It makes sense. As for me, I haven't used it. It's just been remote assistance so
Okay.
far.
Okay. It is cool
Okay,
that
so
I
that's
saw a
all-
bunch of games companies put out like custom backgrounds that you could.
Yeah, I was thinking that's like, I know CD Projekt Red did a whole lot, and like, why not?
I want to get a Cuphead background.
It's like,
That'd be cool.
like
Yeah. That'd be
that would
cool.
be cool.
Or like a Dark
Okay,
Souls
so that's
background,
all we
or
have.
like a Bloodborne one. Put like Vicar Amelia behind you, just about
Oh
to
boy,
swipe your head
about
off.
to murder
Yeah.
you. Sure. Okay, so that's all the questions from Megs. We have one more on Instagram from Bester_Bash. He says, he asks, has Square Enix made you cry yet?
Well, I haven't played Remake yet, so.
Well, in general, Square Enix have
Crisis
made you
Core.
cry.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah, that is my first answer.
Jesus, the ending of that game is brutal.
That game needs a port or not like a remaster or something, because so for those of you who don't know, Crisis Core, I think we've said it many times, it's a story of Zack, who makes a very, like, he's touched on in Final Fantasy VII because he's a story beat, like he's core to the story, but it's very easy to miss what he did, like who Zack is. And Crisis Core dives into his story, like you play as Zack in a time before Final
You
Fantasy
get to meet
VII.
Cloud before Cloud is an asshole.
Playing that game, you know exactly how it's going to end, like, you know, but then you finish it and
Still
you're like,
fucks you
why?
up. It's so hectic.
Why did Square Enix make it this dramatic? Come on,
It's just
Yeah,
that instance of. Yeah, it's just that it was done so well because it was like a fight you could never win, but you fucking tried. You really tried.
Shit.
I distinctly remember when I finished that game, I was going down to Durban with friends in a car, and I was playing it in a car with like headphones and whatever. And I remember getting to there, and I'm like, don't cry. Don't cry.
Don't cry.
Oh my God. It's so hard.
Well, on that note, do you remember were you playing during the day?
Yeah, it was during the day.
evening?
Yeah.
Because I played, and that is the PSP, right? I played the OG Resident Evil 3 on my Vita the other day. Let me tell you, that shit is hard to play during daylight because I don't know.
Yeah,
like
the glare
lighting
is it's not conducive.
Holy hell. Like I think with the Switch and that they fixed it, but
Yeah, it's not a good time.
It was difficult.
But yeah, Jesus Christ, this
but
score is
also
fucking good. Jesus.
More modern Tears from Square Enix. Final Fantasy 15's ending.
Oh my God, yeah. The not
Sure.
the ending of the story,
That-
but after the credits.
No, after the credits.
Oh my God.
That's the one thing I tell people, like, Final Fantasy 15, I acknowledge it's not the best game, but when I got that cutscene, I was like, this made the game worth playing.
100%.
Like, just that minutes, whatever, I was like, holy shit. Like, that is
so
really
hectic.
Good.
It's...
Yeah.
Yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
Good
I
times.
remember being like super happy with the end of Final Fantasy 15, and then that hit, and I was like, oh shit.
You're like,
I
no,
can't. The feels, they're back.
can't do it. It's too big. Yeah. Okay, but that's all the questions. And would you look at that? We just over an hour and a half. We're back at normal
Hot
times.
damn, we nailed it. Even though we finished talking about games an hour ago.
Yeah, but it's just news and questions.
Thank you so much. If you sent us questions, if you want to be included in that, you can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com or at checkpointchat on everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
All the
Send us your
things,
best TikToks. Can you send
Initial
TikToks?
dabs.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you can.
Send us dabs. I enjoyed that dab. You need a dab with your cats. Is that a cat behind you, or is it like a jersey on the couch?
No, there's a cat behind
I
me.
don't think I can see it.
There's a wild Luna.
She's so cute.
And she's sleeping on a blanket. Yeah, she loves a blanket. Holy hell.
Shame. And it's so
It's so
cold.
soft.
I did enjoy her little video of her going crazy the other day. That was fun. What the fuck
Holy
was she
shit,
doing?
yeah, that's like... I
That
don't
little thing
know.
where she's just staring
I
and then
just-
she like kind of like
I was just watching. I'm like, what are you doing?
Cats
Like,
are
I don't
funny.
know. It's a crazy cat. They're hilarious. So yeah, that's episode 97.
97. Yeah.
97.
As always, we'll be back next week remotely again. We'll be more tired next week because it's the first 5-day week in like a month. Fuck my life.
No,
Yeah.
don't say that. Yeah. Enjoy the long weekend. It's Friday
Yeah,
today.
it's
good
the last
times.
long weekend for a while, so enjoy it. Don't go for runs because it's too late
Take
right now.
advantage, yeah. Yeah, you
Support
thrown
your
in prison.
local businesses that are opening up for takeaways if you want to keep them around. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
don't cough on people. Don't be an asshole. Don't cough on people and don't spoil The
Definitely
Last of
not.
Us 2.
Yeah, please don't. And yeah, that's it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thanks so much for listening, as always.
Thanks for
Thanks for
listening.
listening.
Guys. Yeah.
We'll see you next
Catch
week.
you next week. Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.